What's up, guys? We're going back to the well. We're going to check out that Tua versus Herbert showdown one more time. The most vociferous fan base in the NFL, Tuanon, takes on the least existent fan base in the Chargers, who belong back in San Diego. But Justin Herbert showed you why in this game, showed you why he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Cliff notes, he manipulates the pocket in a way that we haven't ever seen before because Tom Brady wasn't athletic enough to do it. It's that good. It's surgical, it is precise, it is simplistic. He doesn't do a lot of extra shit. It's not, it's not that Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes shit where like he'll throw a spin move in there and you're like, why did you do that? And it works, but like it doesn't make sense. Everything he does is calculated and simple and smart, and it keeps him in position to make the next play. He runs a terrible offense and he runs it to perfection. I mean, you're going to watch this video. It's long. There are 4 bad throws in it. 4. I mean, don't take my word for it. You want to see why I think Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the NFL? Let's watch the film. So the Chargers are going to come out pass heavy, a little play action on first down. Love to see it. Just a routine throw, but this is actually one of Joe Lombardi's better designed plays. You see he's got the slide with Keenan Allen over here that could fake a jet sweep, and then he leaks his tight end out 4 yards downfield. I mean, they're never going to throw downfield, but at least there's some creativity in how he's attacking the short range in this play. You'll notice throughout the game that Joe Lombardi just really, really handcuffs Justin Herbert to a radiator. And the only way the Chargers can move the ball is if Justin Herbert is absolutely perfect. Now, he's not asked to do as difficult of things as frequently as I would like, quite frankly. He's one of the better downfield throwers I've seen ever, and I wish that got to be leveraged. But, like here, it's 2nd and 10, and Herbert misses a relatively difficult 4-yard pass. I said relatively because it is still a 4-yard pass. Because he misses this, the drive's over. They don't convert on 3rd and 10, so here's a plus pocket move, a second plus pocket move to reset his feet, and then just an inaccurate throw. He's a little off. But 3rd and 10, bet you money they run all curls to the fucking sticks. Yep, it's the same exact play from last Herbert video. Every 3rd down, they leak one tight end out here in the flat. I guess they're leaking another tight end out here in the flat. Usually it would be a running back. And then I bet you everything that everybody else is running curls to the sticks. Kind of like that. Now, they get bailed out by a holding, and that's why I'm not going to grade the play. But you see my frustration. Just keep on throwing curls, or keep on running curls and throwing flats. So, again, routine throw. Nothing to write home about. In fact, there's going to be so many routine throws. If I don't say anything about a throw, assume that it's pedestrian. Because I just don't want to overuse the word. I know how you guys feel about that. Like, I understand that the offensive line isn't great, right? I know that they're on their 3rd string right tackle and their backup left tackle, but you've at least got a good interior with Lindsley and Zion Johnson. Like, you can do better than this. Now, Mike Williams could not do better than this. Here, it looks, at first glance, maybe bad, right? It looks like the receiver had to make a play, and that's tough. In reality, Justin Herbert's realizing Mike Williams ain't outrunning anybody, like ever. So right here, this is the point in the route where you have to decide as a quarterback, is my guy going to win downfield? And when you're on the Chargers and nobody in your wide receiving core is faster than their linebackers, the answer is usually no. So Herbert has 2 options. He can check it down to this tight end, get like 3 yards on the play on 3rd and 9, or he can utilize what Mike Williams does do well, because it certainly isn't running, and throw the ball up, weaponizing the cornerback's leverage and giving Mike Williams a chance at a contested catch. So Mike Williams actually gains more ground on Xavier Howard than was apparent at the throw point. But what Herbert is thinking is, I'll put the ball behind and up. So I'll give Mike Williams a chance because he's going to have underneath leverage. He guessed wrong on that. And Mike Williams will be able to jump up and make a play. Mike Williams makes a great play. I would say it's a solid throw. I could absolutely see if you want to say it's a pedestrian throw. It certainly wasn't bad because he executed what he was trying to execute, and he's knowing his personnel. It's Mike Williams. Certain guys like him, Nuke Hopkins, Alshon Jeffrey in his day, Allen Robinson before he became totally washed, that's a smart throw to give them because they're not going to win with speed or quickness. They're going to win by getting the rebound off the board. So again, there's no plus movement on a bootleg or a rollout. That's just executing the play. It's part of it. He's not actually manipulating the pocket. He simply is moving it where the play moves it to. And these past two throws have been pretty standard. Not to say that they're not hard, not to say it's not hard to complete a lot of them, and that's what Herbert does, right? He can't miss those expected plays. But they are expected. Here, you could almost grade this throw as bad because it lands on the back shoulder. See, if this ball's out front, Eckler has a shot in hell at possibly getting a couple yards, but because it's on the back shoulder, it stops his momentum, and the linebacker's got him dead to rights. But again, you're asking Herbert to be so perfect within a foot of ball placement that even if he executes perfectly, you're getting 1 or 2 more yards. Here, this is just a really nice little natural pick play. Right? The cornerback can't jam the receiver because of the way that they release the routes. So it's not like an offensive pass interference pick play. It's just confusing the zones. And then here, again, it's on the back shoulder. If it's out here, maybe the wide receiver scores. I'm not going to call it bad. It was super catchable. But it's just another example of how Justin Herbert needs to be fucking perfect for this offense to do much of anything. Nice little play action, and that's a solid throw. Locates his man downfield. It's his first read. Hits him perfectly solid. A little better than you expect because the zip is... He makes it look super easy because he puts a ton of zip on the ball, but the zip is necessary. Like, Tua makes a living off those throws. Those are like 80% of the positive throws Tua makes. Now, this throw is nice. I'm only going to give it a solid because Palmer was so wide open, but I'm going to give it 2+ movements. Steps up in the pocket. Again, his pocket manipulation is almost identical to Tom Brady's, both because they're lanky and tall and because of the way that they are subtle. Herbert's an amazing athlete. He probably runs like a 4.6, 4.7 40. I mean, he could play tight end. Watch as this defensive end just throttles the offensive tackle behind Herbert. Now, Herbert just casually steps up and through it, and then he avoids the jumper, throws the ball over his head, gets it out there for a 15-yard gain on the dot, right on the sideline. Solid throw, excellent pocket manipulation. And spoiler alert, Justin Herbert had 37 positive pocket manipulations in this game. I think that's like double. that's almost double the second highest amount of pocket manipulations I've ever found in a game. It's easily the record all time, and I've been doing this for 3.5, 4 years. Like here, there's another 2 pocket manipulations and a throwaway. It's a positive throwaway. Like just getting the ball off there is impressive and good. Helps your team because there is instant pressure. And then here Herbert takes a negative sack. This is on him, and he's probably the best in the NFL these days at managing a pocket and avoiding sacks. Now, I mean, this is covered, right? Because the throw lane, if you're going to get the ball there, it has to be a laser, but there's a guy in the way of the laser. So that's how you throw a pick. This is just absolutely not open. This is totally covered by this zone defender. You could try this guy, but that's going to be a tough throw. Your best bet is to leak it out to the running back here and live for another day. He does not do that. And again, you could go to the all-22 and see if maybe there's a guy downfield. I don't care. I saw 4 receivers and they weren't covered. They were covered. They weren't open. It's tough play calling because there's nothing to do late in the down. Right? Like, if anything goes wrong on your first couple reads when you're running these super short progression routes, there's nowhere to go. You're fucked. But he could have leaked it out to the running back. He should have leaked it out to the running back. He had time to leak it out to the running back. It's a bad sack. Remember that little jet motion they did with Keenan Allen earlier? Well, they turned it into a play action for a nice little screen. Just another dump off. Again, expected. This offense really does not leverage the fact. I tweeted it. Apparently, I tweeted it just after Barry McCockiner tweeted it, but the Dolphins run their offense like Herbert's their quarterback, and the Chargers run their offense like Tua's their quarterback. But here, nice rollout, and then a great throw. Triple coverage. Doesn't matter. Like, if this ball was not a laser, if he did not have excellent zip, there's 4 dudes who would have been on it. Like, Tua can't make this throw. Joe Burrow probably can't make this throw. The velocity necessary is crazy. At the very least, if the ball's any slower, maybe he catches it. But somebody pushes him out of bounds before he lands. Look how close they were as it was. Great throw. Great throw. This is why arm strength matters. You don't notice it on that play. You notice arm strength on the big bombs, but it really matters on those intermediate shots, and those are the most important plays in football. No need to show you guys the first down run. Second down, avoids pressure. That's another plus pocket move, and checks it down. 3rd and 5, Joe Lombardi's favorite. Problem is, it's no longer 3rd and 5 when you got a makeshift offensive line that loves false starting and holding. So 3rd and 10, another plus move. But this time, he does not. He steps through the pressure, but I don't think he realizes it's a defensive back and not a defensive end because he tries to run it out. So that second pocket move was not positive. Leads to a quarterback sack 2 times in this game. Herbert has taken a sack that he shouldn't have. That's rare. He doesn't do that. And it'll end the drive. See, he's got to be perfect. There are no chunk plays allow for you to obviate or eliminate shitty outcomes. So, if you run, let's say, Miami's offense, you can have a shitty first or second play because there's a big play waiting, right? Between your speedy wide receivers and your genius coach, something downfield's coming. Not with the Chargers. So, even just look at this play design. It's play action so that they can slip the ball. It's the same play as the first play in the game. It's play action. There's the jet motion with Josh Palmer, now Keenan Allen, so that they can slip the ball out on a flat to the tight end. Now, it doesn't work. It's a positive throwaway. He avoids pressure to get the ball out of his hands and not get sacked for a safety. But this offense is really, really difficult, which is a fun way of saying this offense fucking sucks. By the way, it's 2 more expected throws. There's a reason that all of Justin Herbert's highlight throws come late in games or when he's trailing, and it's because that's the only time they really take the restrictor plates off him and let the man cook. But here, another plus pocket movement. I don't think people realize how savvy it is that you've got a linebacker diving at you from behind. Justin Herbert, without taking his eyes off his intended receiver, can tuck the ball away to avoid the strip sack, and then roll out left, feet in the air, and gun that thing in there like that's incredible arm strength, it's incredible core strength, it's incredible awareness. The guy's a genius. Here's another plus pocket move. There's a solid throw. The things that this guy does just to will his offense down the field. Look at this. This is a great play. So this is a pocket move to step up, and then that's a solid throw. Just to have the vision to realize that that's a possibility. Just to have the vision to... Because even if Herbert could have gotten just as many yards running it, he's more important. He can't get hit. Now, unfortunately, Herbert goes deep here, and it's a terrible... Like, I mean, there's really nowhere to go with this ball. It's not open, but it's very inaccurate. If you're going to throw this ball, probably I would put it right here at the 2-yard line on the sideline, because Josh Palmer did not get over the top. So, very similar to what he did on that earlier deep ball to Mike Williams, you know, back shoulder. There was a missed false start call and a bad throw. So 2 bad throws in a row. 3rd and 10. Almost certainly means this drive will end in a kick for the Chargers. Plus movement, ducking through Jalen Phillips, rolling out and gunning it. It's a great throw. 15, 17 yards downfield. Let's watch it again. Rolling out, on the move, never sets his feet. Almost 20 yards downfield, on a dot between 2 defenders. It's a great throw. One could argue it's elite, I would say not quite. That sack's just not his fault. I mean, look at Jalen Phillips just not get blocked. Typically, I like to block extremely good pass rushing prospects. If Jalen Phillips didn't have head issues, he's had like 4 concussions. If concussions were not an issue, the man would have been a top 5 pick. I love that guy. Here, Bradley Chubb isn't covered because it's a screen. But he probably should have been covered because that was ugly. And again, oh God, they intended to block him. They just didn't do a good job. So, free rusher a foot from him, free rusher a few yards from him, defensive tackle trying to clog up the middle. Still gets the ball off. It's plus movement. You guys are going to hate me saying plus move as much as you hate me saying pedestrian. But 37 times in this game, he manipulated the pocket in a positive way. So that's a perfect example of how sometimes touchdown passes aren't really... They don't really deserve to be touchdown passes. Now, that wasn't quite a touchdown. But let's say for sake of imagination it was, you know. Let's say that Eckler got an extra 2 inches on that run. That would have been a touchdown pass, and it would have been awful silly, because it's a screen. It's pedestrian. Whew, this video is going to be long. We're only just starting the second half, and Herbert is manipulating the pocket again and again, and let's see. Is this a bad throw or a throwaway? He's clearly throwing the ball away, but was the guy he threw it away to open? No, it's a throwaway. And he had a man downfield anyway. So they're going to run the same shit. Stop throwing screens to slow receivers. Stop throwing screens. Throw the ball downfield. He's not getting pressured that much. If you need to, keep an extra offensive lineman in. What the fuck are we doing here? I know what Herbert's doing. If it's a play, he's probably plus moving. But again, if he's not perfect, it's not enough. That was a solid play, just not enough. We don't watch first down runs. We watch play action. I'm going to guess he's going short to a tight end. No, they're trying to go deep and nobody's open. So he could do a throwback. He could try to throw the ball 40 yards across the field, roughly, and hit his running back right there. That would be an insane fucking play. That's a Josh Allen type move. Looks like we're going to have to go to the All-22 for this one to see what was downfield. And depending on what I see on the All-22, I will call that a neutral run, like a throwaway, or a negative run. So here's the All-22 of that play, and you're going to see immediately that something is wrong. So the play action does get blown up by Bradley Chubb off the edge, right? Meow. And that forces Herbert to roll out right, but all 3 of his eligible receivers are to the left. Right, so obviously Palmer is not open downfield. Maybe they were thinking that between the run action and the boot right that Palmer would be open way deep down the left side of the field. He was not. And then because this ball is, I mean, like, I know that Eckler is only 5 yards downfield from Herbert. It's like a 35-yard throw just to get it across the field. And over the course of 35 yards, this defensive back can cover him, right? He can get there. He could pick that off. It's a very dangerous play. I would not suggest it. Because of distance, this defender is covering both of these receivers. There's nowhere to go. There's literally nowhere to go. So after the neutral run, not a sack, because there was nothing he could do, he gets a no-fault sack. This is just Jalen Phillips being way, way better than the undrafted rookie or second-year player at right tackle. He just bowled him over. Nothing. Great spin move. This is why Jalen Phillips is a top 10 worthy pick. Now, this roughing the passer call is absurd. It's terrible. But guess what Justin Herbert has to do on first down? It's another plus movement and positive throwaway. I'm sorry. Look at Jalen Phillips. Just look at him bend this corner. Looks like a combine drill. Right here. Watch what he's about to do. Ooh. Kill him. Dude's throwing his arm down like a fucking pole as a skier. Looks like he's slaloming out there on his feet. Great ball handling by Justin Herbert. Ooh. To do the play action, work a pump fake in there, and get the screen out all in time. It's really impressive. Like, that's lightning speed operation. And because it's 2nd and 17, the Chargers are finally forced to go downfield. And look what Herbert fucking does. Look at this ball. That's insane. That's a great throw. I'm sorry I'm yelling, but that's insane. Also fun that his tight end is probably his most vertical threat on the offense. Now, they're not going to show you the replay. I have half a mind to do so myself. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the replay, because I know Tua stands are going to be like, oh, if that was Tua, you would say it was bad. Well, not when you see the tight copy, because this is triple coverage threaded through a needle. Gorgeous. All right, I'll go find you that tight copy. All right, it's much more visible on the tight copy from the All-22. Watch this. Sir. Sir. Watch it one more time. Oh, it's a tough catch, but it is such a good throw. All right, 3rd and 17. Does Herbert have some insane magic? Kinda. It's a good throw. Honestly, I'm shocked Brandon Staley's not about to go for it, but up 10 in the 3rd quarter, I get it. I don't really get it, but I get it. It's the smart play. But I'm aggressive. All right, so for game context, Tua just threw that deep bomb where the defensive back fell down. Tyreek scored a touchdown. Chargers need to answer. Look at Herbert's field progression. If you watch the Tua video, which I'll put a link to here, you'll note that I say Tua doesn't move his head at all. Like, his head does not move during the play. Look, Herbert's already on his 2nd read, and there's his 3rd read, and there's his 4th read, and that's who he hits. He read 4 fucking receivers on that progression in a matter of 2 seconds. Yeah, play clock. Okay, 6:23, balls out at 6:21. In 2 seconds, he read 4 receivers. That is supercomputer fast processing. Right? If the average quarterback's like a Dell ProBook, this dude is running the HP Envy. Rollout, so no pocket movements on this, but then pocket movement to throw with dudes in his face. Dudes in his face. And then he just bombs it. I did the math. I estimated it was about 55 yards downfield. Air yards, all told, because you got to go across the field. You know, little Pythagorean algorithm. Is that it? I don't know. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Anyway, we don't have to do that shit anymore. Next Gen Stats says it's 52 yards downfield. My ballpark was pretty close. So, oh, naturally, this is an elite throw. I mean, look at the tight copy. Bang. And then, you know, hey, all that throwing downfield and making challenging plays stuff, it seems to work. Let's go right back to just absolute Adam Gase ball. Some Jim Bob Cooter ball. That's a bad fade. I don't... It was clearly a miscommunication, but I also think Herbert just missed. And here, it's another one. Plus movement. He's on the run while he does it, but... And again, I don't really know where that ball was going. He was being chased down. He's manipulating the pocket, but that was just bad. I don't understand those last 3 plays at all, even on Herbert's part. But still, they got 3 points because Justin Herbert made an incredible play. Maybe they should ask him to do incredible plays more often. He seems to hit them fairly frequently. This has got to be the longest game of all time. We're not even done with the third quarter. I thought that this was going to be like garbage time, no passing, because it's cleanup duty. Whoa, what changed about the picture? Alright. Well, 3rd and 2, and they throw the little bubble screen here to one of the slowest wide receivers in the history of the NFL. And shocking, it does not work. Just bad play calling. So they'll punt on 4th and 1, basically sacrificed a possession, and both of the throws in that drive were pedestrian. Which is... So the Chargers are up 6, and there's 10 or 11 minutes left in this game, but it feels like they're up more, and it feels like the game is more over. Good job by Herbert to evade those 2 free rushers, get the ball out there. Nothing special, but, good play. 3rd and 5. This is one of the best throws. Like, is it as good a throw as his deep bomb earlier? No. But it is a 9-yard throw. It's a 9-yard out. Very simple. It's a meandering out. There's bullshit in the way, but look how covered this dude is. How does if you could just freeze time and walk a football through, how do you fit it in? I don't know. Herbert just zings this fucker so hard. It is a 9-yard throw. And if we're just going by my rules of thumb, if we're just going by the rules of thumb, which we don't do, 9 yards is typically a solid throw. But look at that. It's like a handoff. Okay, this is another play where velocity matters. Arm strength matters. I don't care how accurate he is. A guy like Tua literally, because physics exist, literally will never make this throw. That's a great throw, despite only going 9 yards, because the guy was not open. Herbert made him open with his throw. That's a solid throw. That's almost exactly the same distance of throw. It's just, it wasn't as difficult to complete. So, great throw, the one that I harped on. Good throw, the one before that. And then bad throw here. He just put it behind him. Yeah, it was probably a hold, but it was also behind. 3rd and 3, Herbert being perfect. He's got to be perfect, and he's perfect. Solid throw. Look at that velocity. It's just pretty to watch. I think part of the reason the eye test is so important is because, sure, that's like a 14-yard completion. And sure, there are other ways to hit a 14-yard completion. But you can draw something from the fact that you see it happen and you think, oh, wow, that's a ton of velocity. It's a really accurate ball. And with very little effort, he drove that thing like he was flying a paper airplane with perfect accuracy. That is something you can do over and over and over again. It's replicable. So even beyond the charting, even beyond the efficiency, it's something a stat could never capture. It's something even just charting will never capture. Yeah, this is a throwaway. He just didn't see what he wanted to, and he got rid of the ball because he knows he's already in field goal range, and a field goal likely wins the game. And that's probably why he ran there, too. Like, yeah, the first down's great, but I really want to just keep the clock running. There's 5 minutes. We're up 6. As long as we don't miss the field goal, we'll be up 2 possessions and we win the game. Not great for anybody who's trying to cover an alt spread, but totally smart. So it's a plus run and a plus movement on 3rd down. But now we're in the low red zone, so here's where Joe Lombardi just shits his pants and calls whatever came out the other end. Okay, this play actually was almost catastrophic. That's a fumbled snap. That's on Justin Herbert. I don't know if this video will include the replays. I've seen them. The ball is a perfectly fine snap. Herbert just gets excited and fucks up. So yeah, it didn't show it. It was a fumble on Herbert's fault, a quarterback sack on Herbert's part, but a plus movement to recover the fumble. So good on you for that. And then he had another 2 plus movements for getting away from the defender there and throwing the ball accurately, just a pedestrian throw, on the slip out. And that'll do it. That'll end the game. So, long-ass video, I'm assuming. A lot of throws. A lot of pedestrian throws, a lot of plus movements. You guys are probably fucking sick of hearing me say that. I'm sorry. I wish that there were more kinds of plays mixed in as well. But it can be really easy to forget just how perfect Justin Herbert was and needed to be for that game to happen. So let's get to the charts. Taking a look at the charts, the contrast is so stark. The grades look like a checkerboard. But as I noted in the Tua video that I made yesterday, go check that out. I turned a very keen eye to this game. I broke it down into halves, so you can see the first half grade for Justin Herbert was a 10.25 slugging. Also gave him an A+. Why? Because a 10.25 over the course of an entire game is typically enough for an A to an A+. In 26 dropbacks in one half, it's really fucking good. On the game, you can see he was accurate on 90.7% of his passes. Aimed passes. We're not counting throwaways, obviously. That's crazy. 90.7%. So when I say Justin Herbert needs to be perfect for this offense to operate, they scored what, like 23 points in this game? Against a Miami defense that's not very good at all. He needs to be perfect for this offense to operate. And sure, his positive play rate of only about 26% is pretty low. It's about league average. But the negative play rate of 11 is ridiculously low. And when you factor in the fact that 60% of his plays were those cheap plays, those simple Adam Gase, Jim Bob Cooter, insert inept 2010 offensive coordinator here, those quick hitters like crazy. When you factor that in, it's a pretty good positive play rate. Now, the crowning achievement of this game is going to be the 37 plus moves. The 37 times he manipulated the pocket in a positive way. If you take away all of his pocket movements, all of them, he still has a 12.75 slugging, which is still good enough for a high A to a low A+. So, really good. He only had 4 bad passes on the entire day, 2 of which came in one drive in the red zone. Remember, he threw the bad fade, and then the next 2 plays, I just didn't know what they were trying to do. He also had 1 deep ball that just wasn't online. But that's it. He's 4 bad passes. 1 elite throw, the throwback to Mike Williams way downfield across the field, 51 yards from the launch point, or 52 yards, whatever. 5 great throws, including that one that was only a 9-yard out, but it was just so well thrown. 7 solid throws, a whopping 26 pedestrian passes, 5 throwaways, 2 sacks that were on him, which is actually rare, 2 sacks that were not on him, which is also rare. He's so good at manipulating the pocket, he rarely even takes sacks that aren't his fault, despite a terrible offensive line. And then he did have that 1 almost costly fumble. Could have been bad, could have been real bad, but alas, it was not so bad. 22 slugging grade, one of the highest slugging grades I've ever given. It's up there, like top 5. Of course, I said earlier in the week, like, oh, it's one of the best games I've ever graded from a quarterback. And then, of course, Kirk Cousins goes and puts up a 21 against the Lions in a loss. Kirk Cousins was awesome, but this isn't about Kirk Cousins. This is about Justin Herbert. Having updated his season-long composite, so I've graded 7 games now, 333 snaps from Justin Herbert this season. I skipped a few. I still haven't graded the Week 12 win against the Cardinals, or whatever happened last week. That being said, over the 7 games I've graded, which is not a complete sample, although I have graded almost all of his injury games, he's towards but not at the top in accuracy percentage at 75.5. Really, really good. He has a higher positive play rate than the average, which is crazy considering how many cheap plays they run. Those quick hitters, those pedestrian plays. His negative play rate is still below average, though it's higher than I would have expected. Obviously, he has way too many cheap plays, but his slugging per game, his median game grade, his mode game grade, and his average game grade are all the highest in the NFL. Of the games I've graded, the most frequent outcome, aka the mode, is an A+. It's crazy. He's got 3 A+ in a row. His median game grade, so of the grades we have, the one that's in the middle, is an A-. Again, crazy. And then his average grade is a B+, 3.3 on the dot. Still really, really, really good. He's got the lowest interceptions per aimed pass rate in the NFL. He's only, in the 7 games I've watched, in 333 snaps, he's thrown a pickable ball 3 times. I've graded almost exactly as many snaps for Tua. So in 10 games, 336 dropbacks for Tua. 18, 6 times more. Tom Brady, who only has like 6 or 7 picks on the year, has been very safe with the ball. 8 games, 313 snaps, 10 pickables. Josh Allen's up at 22 through 12 games. Now, almost twice as many snaps, because I've just graded 5 extra games, but 22. Joe Burrow's protected the ball really well this year. And through 10 games, 10 pickable balls. So Herbert's 1% interceptable pass per pass ratio is crazy. He's also got 4 great games. 4 great plus games in 7 games. It's not the highest rate in the NFL of great games, but it's second. The guy's incredible. Now, the highest rate is Marcus Mariota, but I've got 2 more games to grade from him. I've got to grade the last 2 games that he played, and they were not great, so that rate's going to go down, and Herbert will have the highest again. If Justin Herbert steps on the football field 6 times out of 10, he's going to play great. Josh Allen's at 50%. Mahomes is at 50%. Like, that's crazy. This year, Aaron Rodgers is at 0%. Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the NFL. He might not lead the best offense, but I think that it's pretty easy to see after watching this video why that is. It's not that he's leading a bad offense because he's not very good. It's that he's leading a terrible offense, and he's so good, he makes it decent. I literally do not think there is a single offense in the entire NFL that would not be better with Justin Herbert in it. And that includes the weird offenses, like Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. They run-first offenses. I think that Justin Herbert's a good enough runner that he can run those offenses, and he's so much better as a passer that he would maximize those offenses to an extent that neither of those quarterbacks currently do. Like, don't change a goddamn thing. Don't call plays a second different. Don't edit a single play in the playbook. Call the exact same shit you currently call with your quarterback. Justin Herbert does it better because he's probably as athletic as anybody. Like, yeah, no, he's not as fast as Lamar, but he's definitely stronger. And he might not be as strong as Hurts, but he's definitely faster. He's got an arm stronger than everybody but maybe Mahomes and Allen. It's on that tier. He's got a release quicker than anybody, period. He's accurate as shit. He's probably the smartest quarterback in the NFL. My comp for him is like Tom Brady light, but with insane athleticism. This guy has, we throw around potential a lot, and like, yeah, Josh Allen has the potential to be the greatest quarterback of all time because he's the greatest physical talent of all time. And like, once upon a time, I agreed with Ron Jaworski saying Colin Kaepernick has the potential to be the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no reason he can't do it. Justin Herbert could definitely be the greatest quarterback of all time, and it wouldn't take that much improvement for him to get there. Like, yeah, he's not there yet, but he's getting close to being on that tier. And I just pray that his excellence doesn't transcend to the extent that the Chargers feel empowered to keep Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi in place and just kneecap Justin Herbert's career forever. Let's hope that they have the foresight to realize that, sure, they got a decent team, but if they got an average offensive coordinator in there, they could have an incredible team. Justin Herbert, QB1, debate a wall. Till next time, hasta.